How you doing, everybody? Sitting here thinking about what the ideal watch would be for for somebody like us who's a collector who appreciates different kinds of aspects of it. Let's see. There we go. Hi, Jimmy. Good to see you. Anyway, so I figured that would be a good topic today is to discuss, you know, like I I think a lot of decisions are made in watchmaking by, marketing people and other people like that. Hey, neighbor, how's it going? It's 2 degrees outside, but have faith. It's going up to 12 degrees this afternoon. It's nice and cold. Anyhow, um, hi Remus, Kevin. You're usually late. Yeah, you must be an early riser. Man, I tell you, this morning I sleep really well, and the colder it is, the better I sleep. I'm part polar bear, I guess. Oh, thanks, Jimmy. Hi, Seba. Okay. Um, Let me tell you what my sort of would be my ideal watch. Um, how you doing, Washington? By the way, I to be a the playoffs start tomorrow, so I will be unavailable, especially especially during the Patriots Broncos game. What a game that ought to be up in! Thank goodness they're having it in Denver. We're getting this monster snow, and I think yeah, maybe it already hit Denver and it's over here on the way here. Anyway, this is my ideal watch with everything but the price. I like it's got a gator strap. Let me see if I can put it here. Um, Now this is platinum, but I'd prefer for the price I'm thinking of, I'd much prefer steel, not not titanium, but steel. Um, the Nothing's wrong with titanium, very strong. It's very light, and I like some heft in my watches. Yeah, just my taste. It's not an absolute. But it's got a number of things that I find ideal. First of all, it's hand wound. Why do I like hand wound? There's less stuff on it. The I know there are a lot of I really do enjoy. In fact, I'm wearing one now. This is my Daniel Roth 24 Cities, and it's got automatic and stuff, and I do like that because I don't have to worry about it. But I like something about hand wound. Um, Both the 7 days type, like my H Moser center seconds and my Ovale. Those are both 8-day hand wounds. I like those too. This one is about 2 days. That's fine. You'll wind it up on Monday morning, and you don't have to wind it up again until Wednesday morning. The other thing I really like is a power reserve indicator right here. And the thing about this power reserve indicator, it's like the old chronographs they had at sea, and that is when it's fully wound, it shows 0. And what that means, it's 0 hours since you last wound it. The reason they did it that way was that chronometers on ships at sea were so crucial that it was like they had to remind the person to wind it. And so as you start nearing like 12 or 14 hours, some one of those, this is that's how long it's been since you wound this thing. And if you want to go off the end of the earth and get eaten by a dragon, you better take care of it. So anyway, that's why I like power reserve indicators. Small seconds. The thing about small seconds is this: a watch with small seconds can be thinner, uh, because you have less to stack on the center. Nothing wrong with the center sweep seconds. My one of my very favorite watches, the H Moser Endeavor, has it, but I like the small seconds because it makes it a little smaller. Okay, so this is I'm putting an ideal one together. Now on the back, it's not a gold uh, movement, but rather I really like some kind of constant force. And the constant force here is two barrels in parallel. They sort of push the amount of power going down the train is is doubled, and so there's less work for one barrel to do, and so you get a smoother, more accurate timing that way. So that's my ideal watch. Now the thing of it is there's the one last part to make it ideal, at least for me, is under 5,000. So you know, I want um, hand wound, double barrel in parallel, power reserve indicator, pretty much time only. That would be my daily. This one, if I have this, would probably be the last watch that would leave my collection because it's my ideal, except for the price. The price, I'd bring it way, 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 way down. So let's see what you guys have. I don't, it's really funny. Here it is, 2 degrees outside. It's a sunny day, and my lighting system is very dependent on the sun, which is my window. And but if I do it, I'll go blind. And at this time of day, the sun is low and aiming right at me. Okay. Hi, 1811. How you doing? I wear either a 2019 Roger Dubuis Excalibur 45 or my Gucci Diver. What fun watches! Those are great watches. I love Roger Dubuis. That's another one of my favorite watches is my Monte Grasse by Roger Dubuis. It's automatic. Still love it. Um, hey, how you doing, Dominic? Allie, good morning, Allie. Anyway, so let's hear from you. You've heard more than you need from me for this morning. What would your sort of ideal watch say? Okay, uh, mine is essentially this watch, steel, uh, steel case, steel movement. That'd be okay. Um, but double barrels in parallel, hand wound, under 5,000. That would be my ideal everyday watch. Okay, so I want to hear what your ideal everyday watch. Hey, thanks, retired. Hey, Zinc, good to see you. I like a Ulysse Nardine Ferguson minute repeater. Holy smoke! Now, Dominic, the only thing about oh wait, that the only thing about a minute repeater, I couldn't hear it. I was my hearing is shot, but otherwise, that sounds like a heck of a fun one. Romain Jerome Skylab. I don't know that watch. Sounds interesting though. Chopek Antarctic is my dream watch now with a minute repeater. Good grief, you guys. Those are really, I mean, come on. A minute repeater under 5,000. I tell you something very close to that is the Christopher Ward, what's that called? Sully Bento or something like that. That one has I just but anyway, okay, let's see what else you got. I mean, that's also very close to under 5,000. Seba, you're right. Uh, Larique watches. The first Larique we made is it's just fantastic. It's hand wound. It has something for constant force that most people don't realize as constant force. Jean-Marc Viderec made a special gear called Agonase gear, Agen for Agenor, so it's Agenase. And what it has little springs in it, so there's no slippage. And any slippage in any gear in your watch is going to mess up your time. And for when you have an eccentric, oh, this one doesn't have it. This one does. When you have an eccentric um, small seconds on, excuse me, on your watch, the further it is away from the gear train, the more likely you're going to get some kind of monkey business going on. And so, um, Agenor, when they were building it, and this is something that the guys at Larique, we didn't ask for, we didn't know about it, but they put that in there anyway because it's just the kind of, they're the kind of perfectionism that you get from companies like Agenor, and there are very few of them. Agenor is one. Um, that's the only one I know of. Right off the top of my head, they have this really fine work. They just do um, movements. So, yeah, I think when you get your Larique, you're going to have that. I am very looking forward a whole bunch to my new what's it called, Air Zulu. It has a Zulu time in the middle, and so that it works. Either you can put it on Zulu time, or you can put it on, use it for dual time. Uh, I tell you something sort of funny. I heard that when I had my resonance watch, you have these two little dials, and the whole idea of having a resonance watch is you can see how they synchronize each other, and so you see these second hands and these little hands working perfectly together. Some people use it as a dual time watch. It's set one to one time and one to the other. And if FP Jordan saw me that, he'd get upset. They're supposed to be the same time. So I always had mine at the same time. So, but anyway, this new watch we're gonna have, it's supposed to be for set at the GMT, and that's going to be the middle retrograde hand, and the other ones are just regular time, except for the small seconds, which are going to be a 30-second retrograde, like a dog wagging his tail. Okay, what are you guys doing here? I didn't hear the under 5,000 part. Yeah, or as close as you can get to that. Yeah, say, but well, when you get that, you get this incredible watches, not because of me or the guys, but because of Agenor. Also, too, we 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 try to get the best case makers and everything else. Hi, Ali. See, in terms of functionality, I wear a GMT for movement. Ali, especially in this day and age, whether you travel or you don't travel, my wife has very keep me on a short leash. I wanted to go, Fernando and I were thinking of going to Switzerland to pick up, some fact, there were some Lurique watches. They had a whole bunch of them that had to have the cases not the cases, but the, dial replaced, and that's been sort of an agonizingly slow process. And so I thought, "Oh my god, this," they everybody had their watch. They found out that there was oxidation going on, then they shipped them all back. Now that was before Trump, and so there was none of this, uh, nonsense about the tariffs that are going on. And so now with the tariffs, we're afraid that we're gonna, come on, you guys. It's a these are been here, done that. We'll see what happens. For under 5,000, Galactic 44-day USA. Wow, that sounds pretty good, uh, uh, Dominic. Hi, Marcelo. Hi, Marcelo time. How you doing? Yeah, zinc, I agree. The Reverso, the, Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. It's also it's very practical. It's sort of like the dual face ones, for night and day. You can sort of like getting 2 watches for the price of 1. You're like the Breitling, Galactic. I don't know that watch. Sounds interesting. Frave Luba. Yeah, I think I ended up buying 3 of those. You can still get a Fave Luba with dual barrels in parallel if you go to Etsy. They're under $100. They're great. I have 3 of them. I broke one, so I have both of the backups work. I mean, they feel very, very cheap. You wind them and that kind of feeling that you get. They're uh, uh, I think Fabe Luba could make really high quality watches. These, I think, were made when they were owned by the Tata Corporation in India, and they had to make them that would, people could afford. And so they did, but they put dual barrels in parallel. I just think that is so cool. I missed out on a harboring, minute repeater. Boy, I think a lot of us did. Yeah, 1811, you're right. It does open up a lot to the used market. What I'm thinking of is something brand new, okay? I I'm looking at something that I think is possible. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Yeah, Seba, you're right. For under 5K, you can't there aren't that many of them. The easy diver under 5K, they're getting harder and harder to find. My God, this thing, when I got this one, uh, if I really wanted to go cheap, I would have got the one with the blue dial. The Chronomet Blue, FP Journe Chronomet Blue is now worth, I don't know, there's over $100,000. That's insane. It's just really insane. And so this is what, you know, I suppose if you have one, it's like, hey, glad I got it. But I remember when I was looking at it, is that everyone was getting the blue one. The only reason I didn't, or one of the main reasons I didn't get the blue one, it didn't have a power reserve indicator. And for some reason, I thought, well, if I get the platinum one, and of course, this is pre owned and at a price now that I think wouldn't last 2 seconds on Chrono 24, but that was then, this is now. So it's been 10 years ago. So I keep thinking, well, it wasn't too long ago, but 10 years is not, 10 years is 10 years. Ah, Ray, the HO8 by Hermes. Yes, that is a very good one. I like that. It's sort of like a classy sport, but it's not. And it's Hermes uses the Vauchour movement since they own 25% of the company. Yes, that's a great choice. Ah, okay. See, but I'm not much of a chronograph fan, but I think you're right. The Boucher, what do they call that invisible rotor that the rotor that you can't see, and so you can see the movement? It's sort of a peripheral rotor. They have a Boucher with a peripheral rotor, and I think that you can get some really good buys on that right now at places like, no, I don't know. Soloists it used to be what were they called before? Shop worn. Uh, they used to have really great watches. They had H. Mosers, they had Parmigianis, they had all of these great watches, brand new, that simply weren't moving for whatever reason. And I tell you, I wish I'd bought more at the time. Of course, we all do. We all, knowing what we know now about then. Hang on a second. I have to use my control system to control the lights. This stuff is blinding me. Ah, there we go. This is a this is patent pending, my control system for my lighting. Okay. Butcher, yeah. Carl Butcher right now, I think you can find some good deals. The thing with Carl Butcher, some of them have pretty good movements. Other ones are cheap movements, put it bluntly. Hey, Tony, good to see you. Yeah, we're all warm and well. I bet you guys are. Yeah, this is one time they got this giant storm that is affecting half the country. 170 million people are getting smacked by a storm. Here in New England, they got all of this. People know how to deal with snow and stuff, but a lot of the guys, down south are getting hit by these huge storms and they just don't know what to do. One thing, my advice, if you live in one of these storm areas, just stay home. Don't drive. Don't go anywhere, because gee, you see, on TV, I see all these wrecks out. I feel really bad for the truckers who are out in this kind of weather. But man, not fun. I just hope that we don't lose power. I've got to get Monday's video ready today because the storm's coming tomorrow. If we lose power, that'll be rough. Oh my God, Ray, is it close to the 200,000 now? Jeez. The $200,000 for a watch that I could have picked up for under 20 10 years ago. Had we known that, I'd have bought gold and a bunch of other things that seems to be going crazy price wise. Yeah, Ali, you're right about the Fave Luba. Yeah, what's going to come back too, but the price will go back up. I don't know what kind of movements they're using. The one that's in the ones that they had on that you can pick up on Etsy and places like that. I think that the expensive ones you have to go to eBay. The deals, oh my God, it's amazing. But the movements they have, I got one that my untender watchmaking skills have bungled up. But the thing of it is that you have two very different standards, I think, in terms of the materials and how everything goes together. And I have no idea of what kind of movement they're going to use unless they have one of their own and they're going to Swiss it up. And is that, man, I tell you, those Chronomet Blues are now 200,000. That's nuts. Chanel J12 in terms of quality is great too. Boy, Allie, that you are absolutely right. That thing, if you look at the back of the newer ones, the ones with the movements, essentially what they are is that they have Tudor movements. Uh, but it looks like a Tudor movements with parts from Romain Gauthier. That's what it looks like. But they're from Canisi. Canisi is owned in part by Chanel, and it's also owned in part by whatchamacallit, by Tudor. So yeah, that's those are some good places. And the best part about it is that the ones from Tudor, now they're putting the silicone hairsprings in, but they're not going to let the ones that are used by Chanel have them. So there, yes. Omega Deville, Our Vision. DAC, all right, Daci, is that it? Dacio. Okay, sorry, it's hard to. I wish they would have left we could use our regular names here. The Omega Deville, to me, I just love that watch. I don't know why. It just seems to me there's some great buys you can get on Omega Devilles on the used market. But they're just not popular. People like this, the Speedmaster and the Seamaster and so forth. The DeVille, though, is a very nice watch. Any Grand Seiko, yeah. I'll tell you, if you want, especially on the pre-owned market, even better than a Grand Seiko is the Seiko Creator. Man, I tell you, those are great watches. A Mayen, Maen from Sweden. I'm not familiar with that. That sounds interesting. No, oh, Nomos. Yes, absolutely, Washington. Yes, that's very true. Yeah, it's a thing about I think the thing about Nomos is that they're a little too Bauhaus, put it bluntly, but now they're coming out with some really great things. What they did, though, I think was the right approach, is that they went in and they started getting their own movements, because they started off early on the one that's called Alpha, the Alpha movement today in the Nomos. That was basically a German-built ETA 7001, which is an okay movement. It's hand wound, which I like, and it's a very small one though, and so you end up with a sort of a relatively large case and a little bitty movement. Remus, this is one category in which Rolex excels. Oh, they think they excel in everything. For under 10K, we're talking 5K. Okay, Remus. Number of solid daily watches: Oyster, Perpetual, Explorer, Air King, or Datejust. Now what we're thinking about here is a brand new watch for under 5K. And by the way, none of those Rolexes that I know have any kind of anything like a power reserve indicator. They don't have, they're not hound wound. None of them are hound wound. They're all automatic. They don't have any, at least known, constant force mechanism like double barrels. So while I like Rolex watches, I think they're way overpriced for what you get. If you buy it brand new, oh, I got to get one brand new and it doesn't lose its value. Well, of course, no watch loses its value, but it loses its price, not Rolex. And so if you buy a used one, you're paying for a used watch, which you can get for a new one. Now, they're okay. Rolex is okay in a lot of ways, extremely well built and so forth. But there's no back window. You can't look at them. You can't look at the movement. Um, but I do love the Air King with the Bloodhound dial on it. There are a lot of Rolexes I like, but I just wouldn't. That to me wouldn't be an ideal. That's me. Okay, there are like about a jillion people who it would be the ideal. It's very popular. Rub it in, Robert, from Florida where it's warm. Yeah, I know, and it's and let's see, they took away women's rights. What else do they do in Florida? Warm and run by I don't know what. Um, I have a great love for Florida. I spent uh, 3 wonderful years there as a professor at the University of Florida, but um, it was it was humid all the time. Anyway, glad you're warm. We're not. It's 2 degrees here. Yeah, yeah. Hey, forget George. You're right. That is a big piece of news. Um, Richemont sold Baume et Mercier, uh, and I don't know why. I don't know why they got him in the first place. And also, too, the thing that's going to be interesting about that is that one of the big deals that Baume and Mercier had was the Balmatic movement. Now, the Balmatic movement was made by the Val Fleurier, which is owned by Richemont. In fact, the Richemont group created Val Fleurier so that the watches in its stable could all have a quote in-house movement. So yeah, that's it. That is an interesting thing. Look, guys, so my time is up. In fact, I went over a little. This afternoon, um, let's find something fun to talk about with watches. Thank you all of these. Yeah, they're great ideas. A lot of you came up with things I would have never thought about. The HO8, all of these other ones, the Omega Deville, wonderful ones, and Rolex, of course. Anyway, take care. If you're in the in one of the storm, which is half the country, if you're not in Florida, I should say, stay warm. Take care, guys.